girls. Welcome to Kennesaw State University Wellbeing at KSU podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Natalia Gums, a peer health educator at Health Promotion and Wellness. Today, we're highlighting an important and impactful program on campus, the Peer Health Education Program within Health Promotion and Wellness at KSU. So we're going to be going over what it involves, how can being a peer health educator make a difference in your personal and academic life. And joining us today are my coworkers and students, Jay White and Kristen Anuzalike, who are active peer health educators, and they'll be sharing their experience and insights into the program. Jay and Kristen, thank you both for agreeing to join this podcast to provide students in the KSU community with insights into how we can advocate for them openly and behind the scenes.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having me.
To start, can y'all briefly describe the Peer Health Education Program, what it is, the topics you focus on, and some of the key responsibilities and tasks involved in being a PHE?
Well, as a peer health educator, we usually just educate our peers on different topics that we focus on, like stress management, healthy relationships, sexual health.
Yeah, and then just in the midst of doing that, we also just plan those events and we lead those events. So we'll kind of do like interactive events to make sure that the students are engaging with us. And we'll also do educational events where we're presenting PowerPoints and things of that nature.
Absolutely. And task-wise, you can also see our content creation on social media. So we're usually posting silly videos, or you can get some wellness tips as well. So it's a really well-rounded position. So what motivated you guys to apply for the Peer Health Education Program, and how did you first learn about it?
Well, for me, I have always been a health science major, so I definitely wanted to do an organization that was more geared towards healthcare. So I actually was in one of my nutrition classes my freshman year, and you actually came in as one of the peer health educators, and you presented a PowerPoint in my class. And I just thought it was really cool that y'all were able to do that, and y'all did it very well. So I wanted to be a part of something like that in the midst of being involved in my other organizations, and I heard about it. Oh yeah, I heard about it from when y'all came into my classroom.
Yeah. And for you, Kristen?
Well, I am a biology major, and I do want to work with people in my career. So I feel like as a peer health educator, you're working with your peers and interacting with them. So I think that was a part of the reason. And also, one of our coworkers introduced me to the peer health education role. So yeah.
Definitely. And I know for myself, I wanted to get involved, and it was my freshman year on campus. And I saw that this was like the perfect balance, because I want to be an occupational therapist. It was the perfect balance between focusing on health, but just being involved in general. So I loved that. And I remember I was finished working out my freshman year, and I walked past and I saw the Become a Peer Health Educator sign that's still there. And that's what made me join as well. So what would y'all say are some of the most rewarding aspects of being a peer health educator? And can you share a memorable experience or moment that stood out to you?
Well, definitely just being able to connect with the different students on campus. I feel like that's very meaningful. A lot of them really do be having like genuine questions about what we do and what we can provide, and just being able to give them those answers is really cool. A very memorable thing that I can say, I don't know if this is like applicable to what we do, but I definitely like our team bonding moments. I really love when we do like Secret Santa and stuff like around the Christmas time. I think it's just really engaging, and it just kind of keeps us like on our feet and remembers like why we are doing it.
Definitely. What about you, Kristen?
Definitely what he said with the Secret Santa and the team bonding, and also I did like your event, the Love Language Week. Yeah, and that was fun during Valentine's Day.
Yeah. And I think what's most rewarding for me is how it's so personalized. So some of our topics, it might be intimidating to go up to a staff member and maybe ask a sexual health question, but I love that students feel comfortable enough to kind of confide in us and ask us questions within our scope. I remember it was the health fair, and this was the moment that stood out to me. And there was a boy who came up, and he was kind of nervous to ask, but he asked me a question that was personal to him that I could answer within our scope again. And it was really nice to see that I could impact someone that directly. So that was my most memorable experience as a PhD. So for you guys, how does being a peer health educator help you develop leadership skills? And what has that experience been like for your personal and academic growth?
I would definitely say communication, definitely, because we do go around, we go around to different classes and we talk to different students about different topics that we focus on.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it develops your skills simply because like you have to lead the events. So when you're taking like ownership of the event, not only are you delegating like different roles to the different field educators that are working that day, you're also having to be like on standby to answer any questions, bring over equipment and things like that. Sometimes you have to also talk to faculty, so it just definitely like brings you outside of your comfort zone if you weren't used to doing that before.
Yeah, and tapping into what you said, I think that leadership aspect is so important because as PHEs, sometimes we lead an event and then sometimes we're, like you said, on standby. I feel like it makes you a better group member and it helps you be more flexible. So I love that we can work as a group and then build ourselves professionally and personally. Okay, what would you say is your favorite peer health education event?
So for me, it would definitely have to be my event, Love Languages, that I did during the Healthy Relationship Week, around the time of Valentine's. I just really loved how it had like different stations. So I feel like it was very interactive. If you weren't, able to do one station, you could go do another one. And we had a pretty large student like participation. So I felt like that was really cool about that as well.
Yeah, and what about you, Kristen?
I would say it's like not involved with love language, but it's what you did with the roses, the
Loves me, loves
yeah,
me not.
that was really cute, and people were coming up and getting roses and answering questions. Yeah.
Like they touched on, I am so biased to healthy relationships. I always think the events are so fun to plan, and I've been blessed to be able to plan some of those healthy relationship events. I know one of my favorites was Red Flag, Green Flag, where we brought students different prompts and they could decide, is that a red flag in a relationship or friendship, or is that a green flag? So it's cool to see where their mind is at and then be able to teach them from there if they're maybe in the little confused middle space. So what advice would y'all give students considering applying to the Peer Health Education program, and what can they expect once they become a part of it?
Advice is to definitely just apply and be a peer health educator because you're going to meet new people, you're going to try new things, and you're going to have a new environment. And also, what was the second question?
Yeah, what can they expect once they become a part of the Peer Health Education program?
They can expect a very like team environment. So you're always going to be working, with other people. Yeah, you will be leading some events like on your own, but you're also going to be once again delegating those tasks to like the other peer health educators in the office, just so that they have like a job to do as well. And then my advice is just definitely being prepared for that and just definitely being like okay with stepping outside of your comfort zone so that you are able to like do those type of things.
Yeah, and my biggest piece of advice I would say is when you're doing that application, be open with who you are because that is going to be our first impression of you. So when we can see what you care about and what's important to you, it helps us see like, oh, that's someone we'd really like to have in this program. And then what I would say, what you can expect is, again, like they were saying, such a good team environment, from like your peer health educators to your student assistants to your hired staff members. Everyone just makes it such a family, and it's a very relaxed but focused environment. So I would say that that is my biggest piece of advice. So thank you so much, guys, for sharing your experiences. You both have given us a lot of great insights. So if a student is interested in getting involved with the Peer Health Education program, or maybe just has questions, how can they connect with you or someone in the Health Promotion and Wellness office?
So we have an Instagram at KSU Wellness that you can check out all. We post events, we post our little funny videos that you talked about. And we also have an office in the recreational center that you can stop by and ask the front desk people questions. And
we are actually also currently hiring right now. We have our application on Our Life. So if you ever are just on there, looking at events and stuff, definitely go down to the Peer Health Educator application and try to apply and see what you can do.
Absolutely. And that concludes our conversation for today. I'd like to thank Jay White and Kristen Anuzalike, peer health educators in the Health Promotion and Wellness Department, for joining me for such an insightful conversation about the Peer Health Education Program. For those listening, please do not hesitate to reach out to Wellbeing at KSU for any support needs and to give suggestions on topics you'd like to learn more about. If you're ever interested in learning more about how to build awareness, knowledge, and skills about mental health and suicide prevention, please register for one of our free mental health trainings. For more information, please visit the Wellbeing at KSU website at kennesaw.edu/wellbeing or send an email to wellctr@kennesaw.edu.